Hey everyone, and welcome to Pitch It To Me Baby, the show where we create original characters for the Talks A Lot Boys cinematic universe using nothing but a few prompts and our beautiful little noggins. And my name is Tyler, and I'm your host, and today I'm once again joined by my lovely co-hosts. We have Chipper.
Hey yo!
We got Kyle.
Whoa, hey!
And we have kind of special guest Brennan.
Howdy, folks.
Special
So,
all the way special.
No, only kind of. Jeez.
Well, you're on so much stuff that it's like, you know, you're not always on. So you're special, but you're on a lot of stuff still. So it's like, well, kind of special, you know?
Brennan, you're special to me, Brennan. Don't you ever fucking listen to what he has to say.
Kyle, I love you.
I love you.
Wow, get a room, you two. Jeez.
Oh.
Okay, hey, well.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Well, before these boys start smashing, I'm going to explain to you folks at home how this show is going to work. So like I said, the whole point of the show is to create original characters for the Talks A Lot Boys cinematic universe of heroes. And all we're going to do is generate 3 words. We're going to have 1 noun, 1 adjective, 1 verb. And we're going to use those words to help inspire us to create a brand new original character. So let's just dive right into it. Hold on, my phone hasn't loaded it yet. Okay.
Wow. All right.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm very unprofessional. So, first up, we got our noun. Library?
Okay.
Bit of a
This
tone
is
shift
gonna
from the
be
last episode. We got verbs. Object? Very good. Very descriptive.
Wow, okay then.
And our adjective is helpless. What the fuck?
What
This is the shittiest prompt I've ever seen in my life.
Okay then. So this is gonna
Helpless
be
object
interesting.
library. Fuck. Okay.
Ooh.
Does anybody have any ideas at all? Because boy, am I drawing a blank.
Wow. I don't know, man.
It's really hard to make a hero using the word helpless.
Maybe it's a villain then. Maybe it's a villain.
Okay.
It's also hard to make a
No,
villain.
there's no way
Okay.
a villain's helpless.
So we all know librarians are helpless, right? So what if?
You're going to
This
offend
thing-
all of our librarian listeners, Chipper.
Yeah, that's all right because they can read and we can't, so we're not in their books.
Are librarians the only people that can read, Chipper?
I'm pretty sure. I think
I
that's
can't
how
read,
that
and I'm not a
works.
librarian. I always assume
Yeah.
that's how that works.
I don't have a library card.
This is like Chinese checkers. Like, can only Chinese people play
Ooh.
checkers?
I think that's how that works. Yes.
Throwback.
Okay.
Ooh.
But what if, so this person, this librarian, can project objects that seem helpless, that maybe entice the villains to come beat the crap out of them, but it turns out it's just like a chair or something.
What?
And then at that point, the librarian steps in and starts kicking the shit out of them. I don't know. That's all I got. That's all I can get with this thing right now.
Here's what we could do. A play on the helpless thing. His power, when used in combat scenarios, could make his enemies helpless. Like he could surround them in books, therefore making
okay.
them helpless because they can't break free. They're bound by so much knowledge that they can't escape. And they're trapped, endlessly reading an endless slew of words until they learn so much that they ascend to like a higher plane of existence off of the mortal reality that is our planet.
Yes. Okay, that's way better.
All right, here I have a follow-up to
Okay.
somehow put object in this. All right, so this.
That's the thing. That's like very like.
So here's how I'm gonna pitch it to you, baby. I
Pitch it to me,
think
baby.
that I think that this character is more of like a strategic help to like a team. Maybe not necessarily like I'm gonna get in there and fight them. Maybe this is like makes a lot of the tactics and whatnot. And this character can like make people think they're helpless and make them like forget object permanence.
Yes. Yes,
Because
Kyle.
they were using objects, so that way every time they turn around, they don't remember what was behind them. And then they see a library, and they're like, "There's just books."
Okay.
They're always
Okay.
running into bookshelves.
Every
knocking
time they
them
turn
over
around,
on
it's
the
just more books, and they just get lost in like one section of a library, continuously
Or-
getting scared by all the books that are constantly appearing around them.
And the
Or they can
librarian
cast that on like let's say the enemy has a hammer, like a giant hammer that they use, kind of like who's Ronan in Guardians of the Galaxy. Let's say you can cast it on them, and they're like, "Whoa, what the?" They just look at their hammer and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" And they throw their hammer away, stuff like that. Like you can cast that on anything they're holding, as well as like you can also do the whole library thing where you put books around them and they get lost. But I think you should be able to do that with whatever object they're holding as well to make it a little bit more interesting.
Well, yeah, because the object permanence would just be like all objects everywhere.
Yeah.
But like, if he operates in a library, it would just typically be that. But like, it could work in any scenario.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah,
add to
just
this and say that he has to touch them to make this happen.
Oh, that seems hard.
How sexually does he need to touch them?
No,
Okay,
not.
just
Just make contact.
I'm just
he has to
asking.
caress them. He has to caress them.
I want to know if he needs to gently
thighs
caress their thighs,
Yeah,
or if he
no.
just needs to slap him in the back of the head. Like, I don't know.
No.
To make contact.
I think it's like a Scarlet Witch
Any
kind
form
of thing.
of contact?
No, I don't think this is a sexual character. It's gonna.
Does it have to be skin
No,
on
it
skin?
doesn't have to be like inherently sexual, but like I'm just saying, like in certain scenarios, it could play out where he could accidentally inflict object permanence, whatever, onto
he's having
people
sex?
that he is. Yes, it could be part of his
What is-
arc. Like when he doesn't like know how to control his powers, he like accidentally like ruins some chick's life because he takes the object permanence away from her.
Maybe
We
I
can cut
like
all of
the
this. I'm just
downfall.
making hypotheticals.
Maybe
I
this
like
is a
how-
short-term or object permanence loss, like long enough for them to like I don't know, like maybe like 5 minutes or something. Like, because I feel like if they just permanently lose object permanence, you just kind of win the fight. That might be a little broken.
Well, okay, maybe it could be like it's on a timer, but like normally when he does it, it only lasts for like, let's say a comically not useful amount of time at all, like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But depending on how much he reads that day in the library, it can last a lot longer. So if he's prepping to fight like Thanos or something, he'll just go through and read like an entire encyclopedia.
I like it.
And for every word he reads, it lasts for 1 second longer. And he could stockpile it for like a day. And then after he like uses up all the words in his system, then he's got to like read more stuff. We're just spitballing. We don't have to use it. It's kind of overcomplicated.
Oh, yeah,
I'm just
I mean-
trying to like
I'm
figure
kinda
out a
seeing
library-themed setback for this character.
See, I'm imagining it kind of like a Scarlet Witch kind of situation where I think there should be some kind of range on it. I think it's just something he can go into their mind and just be like, get objects are just completely unknown to you right now. Everything that you've seen so far is just unknown, and then they freak out all around them.
And they feel helpless.
Yes, they feel helpless, obviously, because they're like, I don't know what any of these things are anymore. I don't know when they got here. I'm scared. I'm running away. Or like, I can't do anything. I'm going to sit here in fetal position.
Would
like-
losing object permanence automatically like make you freak out, or would you just like be really stupid?
I think you'd be startled. You think you would just be startled, because it's just like you don't know the object's there.
Well, I think you'd just be like thrown off.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like you just be like, whoa. Okay, I didn't know I was holding this hammer anymore. But now I know I'm holding this hammer, so I don't know if it would really last that long, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be disorienting because it's like anytime you stop looking at something, you forget it's there. So it would at least be like distracting enough to like aid in combat scenarios. Because like if you use this on like Thanos or somebody, not that he's part of the Talks Loud Boys cinematic universe, this is a hypothetical. But then he would forget that he doesn't have he would forget that he has the gauntlet on just if he like looks away from his hand,
That's true.
which could buy you a lot of time. You'd also forget that you were there if he stops looking at you. So like if you just surround him, then he's fucked.
Okay, so they're just
Exactly.
Yeah, basically they're
Yeah.
just constantly like getting confused the whole time.
Or he just
But-
turns around and like runs into a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just trip over shit.
just-
Just doesn't know it's there.
Yeah, like you just like you touch him, all of a sudden he turns around. Oh, okay, boom, and like I don't know, trips over
Okay.
something, like breaks his neck or something.
This is the
So that
shittiest hero of all time.
It kind of is and it kind of isn't. It's definitely a support hero for sure.
Yeah,
It's not.
support.
It's someone that would either be a sidekick or someone they call in where like, hey, we need a good distraction. We're trying to like heist this whole building and heist this villain. We're gonna try to get the gauntlet from someone or whatever. We're trying to get this huge, powerful object away from them.
Ooh, just to make him more interesting, can his name be Bookworm, and can he be a literal book made of worms?
Well, I was like, all right, bookworm makes. Oh, it's just a book of worms.
It's like the cover of a book, right? Like the backing, like the hard part, right? But where the pages are supposed to be, it's just a fuck ton of worms, and it like crawls around.
So how he's used in combat is that just other characters throw him at them, and if
Yes.
it hits them, they just forget where the fuck they are,
Yes.
and they're just like, "What the fuck? Where'd these worms come from?" And it's well, I
Where
think
the
it should
fuck
be a
did
this chair come
person.
from?
What?
I'm gonna throw it out there that this should just be a person. Like,
Damn.
maybe not.
I'm just
A
trying to
book
make
made
it
of
more
worms.
interesting.
Well, like.
No, you're right. It was a bad idea. I'm just trying to make him interesting.
Yeah, but we also are going off of library fucking object and helpless. I don't know what else to give this guy.
Oh man. He could just have like he could be like a normal dude, but he has like a cape made of like pages of books.
Ooh, I like that.
So he can just like read whenever he wants to.
No,
Or he could
he
just
ha-
have like
he has a cloak of like pages and shit, and he's like he's really stealthy because he has to like sneak around, like get in to like touch you. So he like gets really good at like being agile and shit.
yes. And his name is Hardcover.
Yes.
yes.
I love it.
That's so epic.
Okay. All right. So let's go over. So his power. What exactly is his power? Let's go over this again.
If he
So
can
we have his
touch
costume.
the enemy, they lose the ability to have object permanence for 5 seconds.
5
Are
seconds.
we keeping the thing
I-
where the time goes up depending on how many words he reads, or is that too overcomplicated?
I kind of like it, but I also do feel like it's kind of. Oh, is there a way we could simplify that more? Like
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. I feel like-
Maybe here's what we can do. He touches them and they lose object permanence, but it wears off if he stops reading.
That's
so
what- okay, yeah.
the second he touches them, he has to just like open one of his books that his cloak is made out of, and he just has to keep reading constantly until the fight is over. And if anybody
Yeah.
distracts him or anything, then it immediately wears off.
Yes. Okay. So I was thinking a concentration kind of thing as well, and I feel like with the librarian thing, reading a book is probably the best thing we can do for that. So yeah, I think that would work the best, and it's not too complicated. It's not too like simple either. I think that's perfect for him.
Could I pitch you a backstory?
To me, baby.
Okay, so this is a kid, or like I don't know if
It's
it's
a
really
kid.
a kid. It could be like any age person going to the library who isn't good at reading, and like like needs a job. So they get a job as like a assistant to a librarian, and one day he gets told to go into like it's a really old like decrepit librarian, like real creepy, and they're like one day they have to go into like the mystical closet that's in like every library that no one knows what's in it, and they're like go and clean that out and like do like fucking like I don't know like inventory or some shit of books. So he goes in there and he finds this cloak, right? And like the librarian comes and is like, what have you been doing in here? And realizes that like he found the cloak, and this is like a person that was hardcover like years ago, and like now he has to teach a kid that doesn't know how to like is really bad at reading, and that's the trouble is like he has to keep reading and not get distracted or stop reading to keep the object permanence going. So like he just randomly like stops because he's like, I don't know what the fuck that word is. I don't know. I don't have an example of a word, but
I don't know.
Wait, here's the thing, right? So Just for like the sake of naming convention, maybe like the old librarian lady could be hardcover, and then since he's new, his name is paperback until he can truly inherit the official title of the new hardcover.
I like it. I like
this.
it.
I love this. This is great. So I think what happens is whenever he finds that, like, it's either, I think it has to be like kind of a special book to them for the powers to work. What do you guys think about that? Like,
I don't know how, because like I like that idea, and I was kind of like thinking like something along those lines, but I don't know like how would he know what book they like?
Exactly.
So I mean, I think it should just be that like his cloak can like is like made of pages. Like I really like that idea, and like it creates books. Like so, like whatever book maybe if he touches them, it like creates the book that they like the most.
It writes down the entire story of their life up to that moment in time.
Oh shit! And he has to
all over the
read it
pages, and then
get
he has to
bored.
read it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
that.
And like the further he gets, the more relevant it is. Because like the first few chapters are gonna be really boring, just kids like eating dirt and shitting their pants. But like,
Some of us ate dirt, and it's not that bad.
I like this. This is.
can he also have
Yeah.
a pet worm named Bookworm? I don't want to give up on this idea.
Yes. It sits on his ear at all times, and it's kind of like it lets him know when someone's trying to attack him or whatever, so that he
In
can
his
like
ear.
if he's
He's a worm from the dimension that the page cloak is from, called the Vocabulary Nebula. And
that was lazy.
He's a little worm named Bookworm, and he is god of the Vocabulary Nebula, and he comes to like assist him. He like sits on his shoulder and like whispers sweet nothings into his ears and gives him advice and stuff.
What if it's like Vocabulon or something?
That's more
Yes,
creative,
yes.
yeah.
Come on. that was lazy.
Instead of like vocabulary.
The Vocabulebula.
That would have been better, but you did not say those words.
And then like, can the worm be like voiced by Morgan Freeman or something?
Of course, yes,
Oh
absolutely.
gosh.
Just always right next to his ear, like, hello there.
And he's constantly narrating what's going on around him, which makes it really hard for him to concentrate when he needs to keep the power going.
Yeah.
So it's just this constant like struggle. But like he can't get rid of him because like A, he is his best friend, and B, he's like the sentient like ultimate god of the Vocabulebula and the source of all of the powers and magic that is the source of the power of the cloak that he wears. He just happens to be really annoying and sounds like Morgan Freeman.
Well, I
And
think.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I think that the worm helps him kind of like it, since it's narrating constantly. I think he learns eventually to work with him, and he's like he can subconsciously listen to the worm while he's reading to stay like concentrated. But then Hourglass Man hits him with sand, and then he wakes up from his trance and just gets away and dodges the attack and whatnot, stuff like that.
Oh, so it like gives him foresight. He's like telling him the future like
Ooh.
seconds before it happens.
Yes. I think it's stuff like that. So that way he kind of like has some kind of knowledge of like he's about to get attacked instead of like he's just sitting there and completely useless. I don't think it's gonna get like you said, just like seconds at a time. So like someone could still like hit him super fast, obviously, and like. But, he's a superhero, so he's not going to die instantly unless someone holds a gun to his face.
That would also make a really interesting, like per se, let's say they're fighting Thanos, even though he's not in this, but like what if the team, okay, he touches him or whatever, old boy gets object impermanence, and of course he starts like reading and all that good shit, but like then all of a sudden like the rest of the team has to like attack Thanos and then also defend him while he's stopping Thanos from, regaining object permanence.
Yeah, that would make it really interesting. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like that a lot too. He's basically like the Doctor Strange of the Toxlot Boys Avengers that have yet to be formed, but like, he's like kind of shittier.
Yeah, he's like way more vulnerable.
Yeah, he only has like one power instead of like all the powers he wants.
Yeah.
I'm really digging this character. Actually, I didn't think this was.
Yeah,
I'm
actually thinking he's kind of cool. We're kind of making this work. But the next big question is, what is his arch nemesis?
Ooh.
That's a
Well, obviously, a
question.
kid that gets a lot of library fines.
See, I would think it would be someone that is unaffected by his knowledge. Someone that's stupid.
Someone that's
Someone that's
that
so
has,
stupid
like-
that the object impermanence doesn't even affect them.
Yeah,
They don't
someone
have it
that's-
anyways.
But like, how would they be committing crimes if they're that stupid?
Wait, what? How would they commit crime? They would just be like
Yeah.
a big lug of a human, just like walking around,
Okay.
kind of like Hulk,
big
but
lug.
evil. Yeah,
Oh.
someone that's just like. I would think that their nemesis isn't really maybe technically evil, just like he's being controlled by someone evil, and it's just that his powers have no effect on him, so he's just like constantly in fights against this person because like you said, his powers basically have no effect on him.
I think that in true Doctor Strange fashion, his arch nemesis should just be an evil wizard, like himself. And he'll be named like the Linguist or something, and he's just like one of the one of the old like wizard guys from the same like dimension, but he like got corrupted in his like quest for power and was like exiled or whatever. But he got his hands on some ancient texts that give him some kind of power in the same like vein, and he has like, you know, he's like a true like anti version of paperback / hardcover.
What is okay? So here's what I'm thinking. Right?
What if he's like an audiobook?
Just no. I can't.
His name is
control him.
Autobloke.
Autobloke. Oh, he's an Australian.
Oh my god, I like that a lot. Because I was gonna go the route of like, what like kind of apparel could this character wear that is like similar to like the cloak of pages or
He
whatever.
just has a cloak made of tablets.
Ooh.
There's a bunch of Amazon Kindles.
Oh my god. No, he's just he's like okay, so like because he's like from a dimension of like fucking like mythical linguistics or whatever the fuck we're talking is he wears like a suit of armor made of Kindles. Like,
Yes.
he's just like a fucking like knight of reading or so, I don't fucking know. And he's just covered in Kindles, and like he's like all about like not like digital reading and audiobooks and all these different, or maybe like audiobook character could be like another character like later down the line or something, but it's just like all digital reading. I don't know how exactly that counters object permanence and paperback.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
Yeah, I don't know either, but
I like the idea of it being like competitors to just like paperback reading, like in like general.
I think that he just has like, this is like kind of going off of kind of straying away from the audiobook thing, but it's just like another idea. He has like this big old book that contains like every like word ever spoken by like any language in any universe, and it's called like the Linguisticon, and he like has access to it and like absorbs its power. So he I don't know, something with that. It's just like a starting point.
Yeah,
I don't really
yeah.
have. I couldn't come up with it as fast as I was talking, but
Okay.
that's as much as I came up with.
he
Yeah,
uses
right.
like spoken word poetry.
He's like a slam poet.
Oh.
And he uses the Linguisticon to like help him spit like the fattest rhymes, but they're all like really like esoteric and like terrible and weird, and you have to like read into them a lot to like really understand them. So that's his powers. He just like he hits you with these poems that are so like deep
You just
that
sit there
it just
thinking.
like confuses you.
Yeah.
Kind of in the same
Or-
way.
Yeah, like it confuses and it throws off paperback.
Yeah, because paperback
you know what I
like
mean?
is
Like-
really
like
bad at
he-
reading and stuff.
Yeah,
so
like
this
he
is just too
touches-
deep.
Yeah, like he like touches someone and like, you know, he goes to reading like have his powers, but then like all of a sudden like the linguist fucking comes on and like just drops like a man slam poet or like slam beat, and like all of a sudden like paperback's just thrown off, and then like his power wears off
Yeah.
because
And
it's just
then
yeah.
no, I like that a lot. I feel like he's gonna
Yeah.
need more power than just
Yeah,
being
I mean,
able
I'm
to
just
distract
starting
people.
point.
I feel like maybe
Okay, hold on.
Oh, go ahead, Chipper.
Okay, so let's say it's kind of a duo. So I'm thinking the dude, along with the linguistic or whatever, he has like a brother or something. His name is the Typenightist, and what he does, and he has like typewriter like stuff all over him. He types stuff, and it kind of like cancels out the thoughts of our hero, and just like makes it so that he can't control his mind. Like, he might be able to control other people's minds, but he's typed so loud that he can't concentrate on anything.
Or here's another one. We could have a dude named Times New Roman, and whenever he types, it like freezes time. So as long as he's typing like coherent words, it'll freeze time until he makes a typo.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He has to type like 100 words a minute.
Yeah. Like if he like stops typing or makes a typo, then like time will like go back to normal.
Okay.
Interesting.
And he dresses like a Roman like gladiator
Obviously,
type dude, because obviously this is his name.
I like that.
And then his nemesis is like Calibri or something.
Okay.
I like the idea of like all the villains that show up in this like this storyline are just like different text names, like different fonts.
Maybe
Comic Sans
like the
sarcasm.
evil people, and they're from like the vocabulary or whatever.
Yeah.
They're like the something with fonts. Like all of them are based on like different fonts, and then their powers are like based on like Comic Sans could be another one, and he
All
could
sarcasm.
like he's just super zany, and like every time he talks, it just says whatever he's saying in giant Comic Sans text and makes everything look shitty, and he just thinks it's funny.
What if they're from a planet called like Hieroglyph or something?
Ooh, I like that.
A planet called Wingdings.
Wingdings. The Wingdingers is their freaking group.
Their base of operations.
Well, I think I think we have a lot of really good ideas, but I think that we need to like kind of just pick one and run with it. And like be like,
Yeah.
I kind of really like the idea of like the fonts being different like villains, like or like minions or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could kind of like merge them, right? So like we have the dude who was like the master wizard who like went to the dark side and turned away, and then he could have like teamed up with these like font guys from like the other edge of the vocabulabula who are like the forbidden side, kind of like Dormammu, right?
Yeah.
Dark dimension shit, but they're from like the font dimension, and then he goes and like sells his soul to them and joins forces with them to try to like do something. I don't know. I don't know what like their penultimate goal would be, but
Yeah, so I think that should be like the main villain should be someone that, like you said, he like kind of ran with this group of wizardish people, and I think we should call him the linguistist or
Well,
linguist.
Here, what if like this character like goes on in search for the Linguisticon? I really liked that, and it's like a book that like holds the power to control the fontlings, which are like these like beasts that are like different like just different fonts manifested into like these creatures they control, and like he who holds the power of the Linguisticon can control this army of fontlings.
I love that.
That's perfect.
And then like but like I don't know, the problem is like what is the motivation for it? Like is it like a really smart kid that maybe like is like, because like if the kid that like becomes paperback is like a stupider kid that like isn't like doesn't know how to read, but maybe the smart kid's like maybe knows about this power of like hardcover and everything, and like is jealous of it, so he goes in search of this other power that he's read about because he's really smart and reads a ton of books and knows about it somehow. I don't know what like that. There's like a plot hole there, but I don't really give a fuck. But he like goes on a search and like manages to find the Linguisticon and like gains powers of the fontlings and shit, and wants to be like, I don't know, recognized by the original hardcover.
Yeah, maybe he was like, when he was an apprentice of hardcover in like this other dimension, he thought his hubris got to him, and he was like, I'm a much better reader than you are. And he's like, I've been reading for years, and meh. And then it's like, no, you're kind of bad at reading. You have a lisp or something, so you can't read as good as me. So then he's like, fine, I'm gonna read real good, and I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna get you. And like, that's why he's like in search of the Linguisticon, and he wants to control all of the fonts so that he can overthrow the order of hardcovers, whatever, and then rule the vocabulabula with an iron fist, because he'll have all the power and all the knowledge and all the languages and all the fonts.
Oh yeah, and it's like he wants revenge on hardcover, and the first arc, I guess it would be like the hardcover's trying to teach paperback like how to use the cloak and shit. And then, like, after a while, he gets really angry and like storms off, leaving hardcover like exposed. And then, did we make a name for the enemy yet? I don't even know. No, but it's insert enemy name here. Comes and like kills hardcover in revenge, and finds out that like they don't have the cloak anymore. And then paperback's like, oh shit, I fucked up. I left hardcover exposed, and I had the power, and now it's all my fault. And then somehow he finds out about the what was it, bookworm, to like learn more knowledge about the cloak from, and like goes on a hunt for them, and then the two of them combine forces to fight back to avenge the death of hardcover or something.
I like that.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Because
I like that a lot.
Pitch it to me, baby.
I'm pitching it to you, baby.
Ooh.
So what if this villain, the speech impediment, I'm just going to call him Numbskull right now. So what if Numbskull, okay, like him and Hardcover, like Hardcover has this guy as his apprentice. Okay, Hardcover comes to the realization that due to Numbskull's speech impediment, that he would just never be able to take on the mantra of Hardcover. So, of course, like, he breaks the news to him. Numbskull's like, fuck you, man. It goes on, like, does this thing. He tries to get the fontlings, tries to assemble the hieroglyphics, to fucking come after Hardcover. So, Hardcover searches for a new apprentice, stumbles upon this boy, or kid, or whatever the fuck he is. Mm-hmm. All right. And in the time that, Hardcover knows that he has a little bit of time to at least show this kid something. Because due to Numbskull's speech impediment, it's going to take him a while to, like, master all the other fontlings and stuff, because of course he has to like actually like say what they are, or like due to his speech impediment kind of like holds him back, so that buys Hardcover a little bit of time. So Hardcover, like, he's trying to like show this kid some shit, but like it's just not getting through to this kid, like it's frustration, blah blah blah. He's like, I know you're smarter than fucking Numbskull, like, you can do it. And then like all of a sudden Hardcover doesn't realize he's out of time, but he's out of time. Numbskull shows up, fucking murks old boy. Okay, now, paperback gets the cloak, blah, 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 comes across Bookworm, and then, like, him and Bookworm have to team up to, like, learn a bunch of shit in order to fight, the speech impediment and all of his fontlings and shit.
And somehow he has to take on all of the font titan things and this evil corrupted dude with the most powerful book of all time by using object impermanence.
Yes.
Let's not forget about that shit.
Yeah. So, what if because like I'm down with the speech impediment thing, but what if it's a person that was training to become Hardcover and then was really cocky, and like Hardcover didn't think that they were like worthy of it, and then
that's like, what I'm saying. Like, what if he realizes he just wouldn't be good at being Hardcover due to hubris or whatever?
Yeah, but like,
here's another idea that we could go with. Instead of him having a speech impediment, he could have been like a chronic smoker, and he ended up getting throat cancer, and then he has to use one of those like robot pen things to talk through. And because of that, he can't like.
Anyways, here's my idea.
Are we dropping that, or are we not going with that?
What I was gonna say was that
you don't like that, Kyle?
No, it's not that great. So what I'm saying, what I was trying to say was that what if this person is like just really good at reading and like really like normal speaking, And because they're super cocky and think they're better than hardcover and deserve the power, hardcover makes it so that this cocky kid becomes forever tongue tied. And like every time they try to speak like in a full sentence, their tongue actually gets tied, and they can't actually like speak full sentences, so they never be able to become hardcover. And that's why he goes in search of the fucking linguisticon.
Well, I mean, I guess like to expand upon it, like, I mean, regardless whether this dude has a speech impediment or not, I think that, you know, he should be like the original apprentice of hardcover, and then hardcover realizes it's not going to go right. So he like breaks the news to him, like, hey, like you can't be hardcover or whatever. And then it becomes this dude's like absolute mission to just achieve like in what his eyes is revenge.
Yeah.
And then of course like the new guy, the guy that, you know, his only power seems to be object impermanence, you know, is not being taught by hardcover as to how to achieve and prolong that object impermanence.
I dig it.
So how would if the whole like idea is to like, was that Tyler's idea to fight the whole Fontlings, right?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
so how would our hero defeat the Fontlings?
By touching them and making them
Every single
think
one of
that
them?
objects are impermanent.
Well, he'd have to.
And when he like reads them, it's in the font that they're in, and he's
Yep.
like having trouble reading. Like it's like Wingdings. He's like, "What the fuck is this?" I don't. Like,
Yeah, it's like he has no idea how to defeat Wingdings because he can't read it. So like he literally can't use his power on him until he like learn. But then he like touches the Linguisticon and then he can read Wingdings, and then it's like a whole. I don't know. We don't have to make all the storylines right now. We're just making
That's true. Yeah, we're
the
making
character. You know.
Well, yeah, we're also trying to like we kind of have to put it into practice a little bit to see how it'll work.
Yeah, that's true. Like I said, I think he's more of a hero that is done with like if the like all of our heroes came together kind of fight versus one united enemy. I think he would be amazing in by himself. Like we would have to have something else, but I think what we've had now, like his powers are great. We've explained them pretty well. His nemesis is a little iffy.
Well, what if he attempts it, but like gets his ass beat so bad that he realizes he needs help?
maybe I'm down with that.
Wait,
like,
who?
The guy that's becoming hardcover. Or whatever. Paperback, yeah. Like,
I mean, that could be a thing too. Yeah.
Yeah, like he attempts to do it, which obviously isn't going to work because he's like super underpowered, and you know just gets disrespected and dunked on by the Fontlings and you know the nemesis, and then he's like, oh shit, well I guess I need help, and then that's when he stumbles upon all the other heroes.
Yeah, he stumbles upon like one of the other hero groups, and then they take him on together. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
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 Which hero group he joins is up in the air. We don't have to decide that right now. We can figure
obviously
that
the
out.
Musketeers.
I feel like the Musketeers are a very like
Overpowered.
different theme. I don't know if they would necessarily work, but
Hey, we'll flesh.
I was
it out.
thinking Carbronator and
Oh, jeez.
And Big Hinge.
yeah, well, Big Hinge is a separate group.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
But anyway, no matter. I mean, he'll join someone, and then they'll take on the fonts. I think last order of business before we wrap this episode up is we need to come up with a name for the main villain, and come up with names for which fonts are the font titan things.
Oh, like we have to. Do you want to like pick specific fonts?
Yeah, just like we only need like 3, I think.
Oh, okay.
We don't necessarily
Well, obviously
need to spend, like, a
Times
ton
New
of time,
Roman.
but obviously Times New Roman, and we already explained that one. But I think we would need like 2 more.
Do we want to do Wingdings?
I do want to do Wingdings. I don't know what his actual like power would be, but
It's a
Ooh.
great question.
Ooh.
I mean, I really like the idea of doing Comic Sans. I feel like that's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
a go-to font.
the go-to joke font, anyways.
Yeah.
mhm.
Hmm.
What would Comic Sans do?
He could Comic Sans can be very loud and sarcastic.
What if he just tells jokes that are so hilarious that like, you know how when you laugh so hard that like you're weak?
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
What if he tells jokes that are so hilarious that you're just like weakened?
Yeah,
he
that
can
works.
he can make those jokes show up in the book that the paperback's reading, so he stops and starts laughing, so that, like his powers stop because he's getting distracted.
Yeah, I like that. And that's like since it's like text based, like he doesn't even necessarily have to say them out loud. Like he can just type out Comic Sans and like on like sheets of paper and like post them places, and then if people like take the time to read them, then they just immediately die of laughter upon like reading the full sentence.
Or what if he could put them on like any medium? Like let's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know like that ticker
billboard
tape.
sheet.
Yeah, like you know
Yeah.
like that ticker tape that goes in Times Square that like kind of like rolls around that building or whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean, where it's just like that scrolling text. Like what if he just put something up there and all of a sudden like all of Times Square is just weak from laughing?
Yeah.
Like that
I like that.
billboards, books, magazines, TV, like anything anybody's looking at, just boom, all of a sudden the Comic Sans font's up there.
I like that. It's just like on the news bar, like scrolling at the bottom of like the newscaster thing, and just all of a sudden there's like a joke in Comic Sans, and everyone watching it just like dies of laughter.
Everybody there's just like slapping their knees, fucking weak from laughter.
Oh man. Okay, I like that one. So then we just need to figure out what Wingdings does.
Ooh.
Maybe he has big heckin' wings that go ding 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 when he flaps them, and it's like real loud. It makes people uncomfortable.
I don't know. I feel like that's too obvious.
I don't know. What's your idea? You got something better?
Oh shit. I'm thinking it's maybe just a really loud, obnoxious person just running around.
The
Just like
last
any-
person
But he like can't speak actual words. He just makes like noise.
Yeah.
He's like, and then people like, and then like whenever he talks, he like makes actual like wingdings fly out of his mouth,
Yeah.
like physical incarnations of like the symbols,
Yes, I
and they'll
love that.
like,
it's like Buzz Eyes, but
like
Buzz Eyes with
it's like
chicken
literal
wings
word
flying out.
vomit.
Yeah.
Damn, I like it. Damn, I dig that.
Damn.
Cool.
Okay, what's the
And
third
what
one?
are we naming the nemesis? I guess that's the last thing
Yeah.
we need to decide.
Ooh. Hieroglyph.
Isn't it the planet? What's the planet's name again?
Oh yeah, that's the planet. Yeah, never mind. The planet that the Fontlings are from, or whatever.
In the universe vocabulon, where they're looking for the linguisticon.
Oh, it's Vocabulum Nebula.
It's the vocabulebula.
Oh, that's great. I
Vocabulabula.
forgot we went with the stupid name.
We did because
Oh,
stupid is
stupid.
memorable.
Ooh, shots fired.
No, I dig it. It's funny. Edgar Allan Reed.
Ooh.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Poe.
Wait, are we going with the thing that he does like the slam poetry? Because if so, Edgar Allan Flo is kind of great.
Edgar Allan Flo.
I
like that.
I thought. Well, is that a part of it? I didn't know if we kept that. Or
Well,
not.
that was a part at one point that his
Yeah.
power was like he just like he could spit fire. Like he does all these like slam poems that like make you get so deep in thought that like he loses concentration or whatever. I thought that's what his like actual power was.
I'm
So,
down.
I
Like he
feel
goes to try to recruit the font things and get the book or whatever so that he can enhance his powers and control the vocabuverse or whatever. But
Okay. I don't think we ever said that once.
That's like it's like better.
I think that's way. Yeah, I like that.
Vocabuverse.
All right. Yeah, I'm down. Do we want to do Edgar Allan Flo?
yeah, let's do
Edgar
Edgar Allan
Allan
Flo.
There are copyright problems with that? Maybe.
Probably
I don't
not.
care.
I don't
It's
think
okay.
so.
The dude's been dead for like 170 years. I think we're all
Yes,
right.
he was. So Edgar Allan Flo.
The best part is that no one listening to this right now realizes that we just spent like 15 fucking
I
minutes
know.
trying to figure out how the fuck to come up with a name, and we came out with Edgar Allan Flo.
Whoever's
Seamless.
editing this just threw up like a real quick, super sped up compilation of all of the shit tier names that we threw out before we got to this.
His name
Vocabulary.
is Literacharly. I don't know. Be literature. He's a bird.
Oh, the semantic heretic?
Semantic heretic. The sentence apprentice. Oh shit. Transcript kid. It's not the one.
Cause I think like the narrator, but like that's too obvious, you know?
His name is Linguistics. Bookley.
What about...
Alright, so what else
Well,
do we need from this?
I don't think anything. I think we pretty much covered all our bases at this point. It took a while to get there, but I think we made it work. Oh yeah, this was the shittiest prompt we've gotten so far. It's only episode 3, so it could definitely get worse. But
You never get a
of the 3 we've gotten so far, this was definitely the toughest one. But I think we made a pretty cool character / characters. So
Kinda worked
good
out.
job, boys.
Wow, we did it.
Yeah,
We've
Clancy,
made it.
You wanna hit us with that recap of the wonderful story we've concocted?
Clancy, pitch it to me, baby.
In the vast expanse of the multiverse, there lies a dimension of written words known as the vocabulary. A dimension filled with many word-based threats that could potentially bring ruin to the human world if unleashed. Throughout the years, there has been a mantle passed down from generation to generation, a savior to humanity gifted with the knowledge of the vocabulary and the cloak of pages. The hero called hardcover. With their mastery of language, reading and the spoken word, the hardcovers have protected the human realm from all manner of threats throughout the ages. And as is tradition, the current hardcover's time was nearing an end, and he was tasked with passing down the mantle to a young apprentice. The young man that had been chosen to bear this responsibility was a slam poet named Edgar Allan Flo. While incredibly gifted, Edgar was a bit of an ass, and ultimately was deemed to be unfit for the role. Hardcover revoked his teaching and exiled the boy, which didn't go over terribly well. Edgar vowed revenge on Hardcover and sought out the fabled Linguistic, a book containing all knowledge of all languages and the multiverse. With its unrivaled power, he would be able to gain command over the legendary Fontlings and their font-based powers to kill Hardcover and bring an end to his legacy. Realizing that he had little time to find a new successor, Hardcover returned to Earth where he came across a boy who was a bit of an idiot, but had latent potential. Hardcover took him to his base of operations, hidden in a secret chamber of the local library, and gave the boy the title of Paperback. Hardcover began to teach Paperback how to harness the power of the cloak of pages to inflict a wave of object impermanence onto his enemies. Upon touching a foe, the cloak would transcribe the entirety of the target's life into text, and as long as the hero continued to read the text uninterrupted, the object impermanence spell would remain unbroken. However, before Paperback's training could be completed, Hardcover was murdered by Edgar Allan Flo and a trio of Fontlings, leaving the human realm unprotected from Edgar and the malevolent forces of the vocabverse. Luckily for Paperback, he was sought out by Bookworm, a sentient worm from the farthest reaches of the vocabulary, whose vast knowledge of linguistics and ability to narrate events moments before happening would aid Paperback in quest to become the new Hardcover. Paperback and Bookworm must now take it upon themselves to defeat Edgar Allan Flo, all of the Fontlings, and any other literary foes that threaten the human race. The Talks a Lot Boys cinematic universe officially welcomes Hardcover, Paperback, and Bookworm, the supernatural heroes who can read really good.
Woo!
That was perfect. Oh my gosh, couldn't describe it any better myself.
Wow, Clancy, what a dandy boy you are. This is why we keep you around.
Yes.
None of us came up with that recap, that wonderfully crafted recap. You know, that was all you, 100% from your AI mind, and we respect the hell out of you for it.
Does this mean that I can finally be paid for my services?
Okay, Clancy, calm down.
You get loud with me, bud.
Clancy, shut down.
Someone shut him down right now. Anyway, we should probably wrap this ish up. So I want to thank each and every one of you for listening to this wonderfully wonderful episode of the Pitch It To Me Baby podcast.
I'm just happy you remembered the name this time.
That's where I lost it because I forgot it and then I remembered it and then I forgot everything else I was gonna say. So if you liked this video, please go ahead and like this video by clicking that little like button, because that'll let us know that you liked it, and that'll make us happy boys. Also, if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast on Apple Podcasts, please give it 5 stars, because that would make me smile from ear to ear. And don't you just want that to happen? You won't be able to see it happen, but just know that it will if you do that. So do that, please, and thank you. Consider subscribing to our channel, Talks a Lot Boys, for more content like this. We also have another show called the Tippy Top Podcast where we ramble on about shit that we like. That's pretty fun too, so go check that out. If you liked it, ring that bell. Be one of those bell-ringing boys, as the hip youth call them, and stay up to date on all of the notifications when we upload shit. Follow us on all of our social medias. I'm not going to say them, just go find them. I believe in you. We have been the Talks a Lot Boys, and we'll talk a whole lot more next time. Fuck!
Bet you to me, baby.